telling my people to prosper and hold it down. Don't you sit and wait, contemplating on a revolution. The time is now. I just wanna be free. 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 Can't you see? I just wanna be free.
Okay. Another episode of the Things I Wish I Knew About Money podcast. I'm your host, Kamille Smith. And y'all, my bad for not being here last week, but it's very ironic that the topic today is actually the reason why I didn't reach here last week. I've actually been really exhausted and really tired. So I decided to take a break last week, and I just realized how important this topic is, and I really wanted to share this. I don't want to talk about my story because my story is still fresh, but I know there's others that have dealt with this, being a caregiver, um, being there for their loved ones. And I just wanted to bring this out in the atmosphere. So I wanted to join with other friends that I know that are dealing with this and for them to share their story. So welcome to the stage. Woo! Hello, folks. Hello, folks. Before I start, let the folks know who you are. Whoever wants to go first can go first. But the floor is yours mostly, okay? And I have some
Mostly.
questions overall.
All right, I'm Damian Alexander for Legacy Wealth Advisory. I deal with a lot of estate planning and succession planning when it comes to individuals, families, and businesses. So, what me and my company we look at doing is building your assets, protecting them, and preparing to transfer those assets to the next generation. There's a lot of complexities when it comes to financial planning and estate planning and getting everything together. But kind of the one-stop shop to figure out all of your ins and outs of estate and succession planning.
Boom, bam, bam. Thank you, sir.
And
And I'm pretty
website
sure with this topic,
legacywealthadvisory.ca.
I'm gonna put that in the chat, in the show notes. But I feel like you being on this as well will also give great advice for individuals with caregiving as well. So
Okay,
thank you for coming.
no problem.
And ma'am, it's your turn.
Hi, my name is Shayna Brown. I'm a co-founder of Vend Refresh, an alternative vending machine solutions that provide healthy snacks and beverages. I'm excited about this topic as it is something that I hold dear to me. My mother is currently sick. She has Lewy body dementia. And over the last year, I've gone through a couple different obstacles navigating care in the province of Ontario.
Yes. And thank you for sharing that. And Damien, you are also a caregiver as well. Please share your story as well. I'm
Uh,
gonna keep it as balanced as possible, okay?
I'm no longer a caregiver. Unfortunately, my mom passed away back in 2013. It was definitely a struggle. You want to try to balance work, your social life, and siblings, because you want to make sure your siblings and you are kind of balancing the care. Always challenging, especially when both of you have your own lives and you're trying to care for your parent, and at the same time you want to maintain your household. So for me it
Mm-hmm.
was very challenging. She had leukemia, and the doctor visits were we had to I'm from Brampton, so I had to drive her from Brampton to Princess Margaret downtown at
Okay.
least twice a week to do blood transfusions and a lot of tests every week. I'm not sure if anybody is aware of how, I don't want to say bad, how backed up our medical system can be. I'll just give you an example. Let's just say I had an appointment for 10 o'clock, 10 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
You probably won't seen a doctor till like 2:33. That's how
That's
long we would
right
have to
there.
wait for that type of care. And obviously, when she gets home, you want to be there for her. But I mean, my mom was very self-sufficient, never wanted help, as a lot of Caribbean parents are. Like, oh, you don't need to help me with this. Don't help me with that. I got this. Don't worry about that. But they do need our help. You just want to be there. You just want to be present. From my experience, always want to be present.
Mhm.
Drop whatever you have. It doesn't matter what event you have. You just want to make sure that you're caring for your parent at that time.
And that's so true because I tell you, you see how I look nice? The whole month, this month has been tiring because I dropped everything just to be there for my dad. And I know not a lot of people know, but he had a stroke in 2021. It was diagnosed as a stroke, and then he had a seizure earlier this year. Sorry, this month. Multiple. So I was in a meeting when I got the news, and I just dropped everything. And since then, I've been present, as you said, Damien, and it is very, it's being present is shows them that you're there for them, and then that's the only thing you can be, right? And Shane, I know you deal with that as well because I know your story as well. um and you were fortunate enough to have it in a different way because now your mom's living with you, right? So how do you feel about being present?
Presence, like, what do you mean by presence? Like presence in the moment, or presence with work, or presence with her?
I think present with her in a sense. Like at least she knows that you're there for you. You're there for her when the
So
push comes to shove.
I think with like Alzheimer's dementia, it's a little bit different in that
Sure.
during the beginning stages, it's very clear to understand that the person knows that you're there, that
Hmm.
you're supporting them. But along the journey, it kind of becomes a little bit unclear because they can't communicate that fact. And you kind of just holding on to like the belief or the mindset that you're doing the right things, that the choices that you're making is for their best and for their benefit, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Whew, right? So that is a little different, and it's very different dynamics that we have to deal with. And even when I think about my grandma, because she's also having dementia, and I always like when we have our conversations, I actually relate like with your mom to my grandma, and I'm like, dang, my grandma's still able to be on her own and be self-sufficient as well. It's just I'm concerned to the point where now I want to get her a PSW. And me never understood how difficult it was to get a PSW until I actually tried to have to get one. So what are your guys stance on like getting that help, extra help, and not just on your own?
Um, I didn't necessarily need for my situation. I didn't need a PSW. Me and my brother worked it out. I know in my industry we have long-term care, which kind of
Yeah.
pays for that. The issue is I feel like a lot of the carriers have dropped that. Like there's only like one or two carriers that are even concerned with long-term care insurance. So that can be a
Hmm.
challenge. The cost alone is a huge challenge. But as far as personal support worker, I haven't really dealt with that. I know of people in my circles that are, and it's
Hmm.
really expensive on them. Like they have
Is
to
it?
sacrifice a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the great things about living in Ontario is that we have home and
Oh,
community
hold on.
care. So I think
Hmm.
one of the
Might be me. So give me 2 seconds.
You said it's you, or
Is it me? Okay. I
no? It's
wasn't
not
sure. I
you
was like,
because I see you,
okay.
and yeah. So
Yes.
um,
Okay. Okay. So start back on the long term care and it being expensive because I think that's important as well. Because I didn't know it was expensive. I thought there was like programs that we could
so this
get.
shit is
Ah,
your
you're
back.
back. You're lucky.
hi. Can you guys see me?
Yeah.
Yes.
So what I was saying, or what I was trying to bring out, is like one of the benefits of living in Ontario, there is subsidized
Mhm.
help that's available to everyone, regardless of your
Okay.
income bracket. So home and
Mhm.
community care, that's what it's called. You can Google it to learn a little bit more. But as the children of our elderly parents, we have to we have to advocate on their behalf. So it starts with the family doctor, and sometimes you
Mhm.
have to stress the importance of what's going on for them to move forward.
Mhm.
Yes. Facts. Facts. You said home community care? Is it?
Yeah.
Home
Home
and
and care.
community care.
Home and hold on, folks. Gotta make sure it's right because I also want folks to have this information so they'll be able to do their research and see what best works for them. I even got like a couple information from other places as well. So keep sharing it. If there's anything that y'all know or want to share, please keep posting it. I'm gonna share it on the banner. Okay. Um, I believe you advocating. And sometimes even when your parents are trying to be good old Caribbean parents, they're sometimes stubborn and don't want to tell the truth on what's happening. Like even with the PSW that's coming with my grandma, I literally asked the PSW person, I was like, "Can you just tell her that you're my friend and you're just coming to check in on her?" And she's like, "I'm so sorry, but we can't do that." I'm like, she's gonna say no because it's the pride in them as well, right?
Mhm.
Like, Caribbean parents are very prideful, and sometimes they don't want to talk about it until it's too late. So it's advocating for them and making sure that they're getting the right care that they need, right? Welcome, Christopher Lawrence. Frequency event promotions. Boom, bam, bam. And my event coming up December 9th. Make sure y'all are there. Be there or be square. But okay, I do have a question. Of course, I close it down because I thought my computer was messing up. But when it comes to being a caregiver, what does being a caregiver mean to you, actually? That was one of my questions I had.
That for me, or
For you. Shada's gone for a minute. She'll come back.
oh, okay. I just noticed.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, being a caregiver, what does that mean for me? I mean, again, I don't want to say I was that. I shouldn't be downplaying me as a caregiver because the way I see my mom, she was so independent. But there were
Hmm.
definitely times where she just needed me. I'll go back to
Yeah.
my original point: is just being present and being available. Always being available for whatever she needs or whatever he needs, depending on who who you're talking about. Um,
True.
I would say, yeah, being a caregiver is being present and always being there for them when they need you. um,
Mm.
regardless of if it's financially or if it's physically. Just be present. I know they appreciate it a lot more. I remember there were times where I would visit my mom in the hospital, and she would always tell me, "Oh, what are you doing here?" What do you mean, what am I doing here? Like, she's like, "Oh, I told you to go live your life." I'm like, "I'm living my
Mhm.
life. I'm coming to see you." And she's like, don't worry about me. I'm here. I'm fine. You need to go live your life." So it's again to what you were
Mhm.
saying, Camille. It's that pride from there. But I will say I was always there, always present. So being a caregiver for me is being present, just being there.
Mhm. I love that because at least they, even though she's being a little stubborn, big up your mom
Mhm.
though. But it's like I've seen so many like from when I've been at like the hospital or at the rehab place, I've heard so many stories where people don't even come to see them, right?
It's a
Like
very good point. I just got a story
I
for you there.
let me, if you have a
Excuse
story,
me.
please share it. But it's even like
Excuse me.
like I was chilling in like the ward section and I'm like, what we me been here for a whole week and I haven't seen this guy once. And like everyone else, like you've seen the regulars that come by, right? And I'm like, wow. And then I got like the inside of that story and I'm like, I'm just eating my popcorn. I was like, wow, that's wild. But I don't want to talk about their story because it's kind of grimy. But
Oh no,
it was
I
so
had like
scary.
I remember there was a time when my mom had a semi-private room, so she shared it with one person.
Hmm.
And this lady, she used to brag about her sons and just good, and her daughter-in-law. Every time I go, "Oh, they're so great, they're amazing, and they do this for me." Da, da, da." And trust me, I would go to the hospital every day and never see any of her family. But I just assume, hey, I miss them, pokeroo type thing, right? And I was talking to my mom, and I was sitting there with her, and she's like, "I feel so sorry for her." I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "She always brags about her son and her daughter and her daughter-in-law and her grandkids. I've never once
Hmm.
seen them come visit her." And I'm like, "Really?" She goes, "Yeah. And I've been here a month. Not once have I seen any of these people." So it is pretty sad. Like when you see someone there
Wow.
in the hospital, even though my mom was pushing me away, I know she was saying still come, right? But imagine you're bragging about your kids and your grandkids and they don't even come see you.
Hmm.
That's disturbing, right? And to your point, I'm pretty sure it happens more often than we think,
It is.
right? A lot of people are probably abandoned because the kids are kind of
Yeah.
like, I don't want to bother with that person, or I ain't got time. You got to make time. Got to make time.
Point blank period. Even if it, I mean, yes, making time is very important, and experiencing that making time is important, but how much time do you give when it comes to
Mm,
that, right?
that's a
'Cause
very, very, very good question. I wish I had a concrete answer to that. It's kind of like
I'm
one of the.
telling
It's when someone asks you, "How much do you love me?" Like what? Like
you.
this much. I
Right?
love you this much. Like it's such a
Exactly.
it's such a hard question to answer. Like I know of people going through it, and it's tough. Like you want to do your thing, but you see your parent struggling, and I would say as much as you can, be
Yeah.
there as much as you can. I don't know what that means for everybody, but as
Hmm.
much as you possibly can, because they're not going to be here forever. Like we gotta be 100 with ourselves, thinking
Hmm.
our parents are going to live forever. They're not, and I just don't want people going through that guilt of I didn't spend enough time, or I wasn't
Hmm.
there enough when they passed. Right? It does happen where I'm talking to people where they're like, man, you know, my mom or dad is gone, and I don't feel like I spent enough time, and I should have done
Yeah.
this. You just want to live with those regrets.
Yeah, and those are the regrets that can really eat you up inside. I no one will say that to me, but like even like um doing checkups. Like I I try to call every night to make sure. I'm like, oh, don't, make sure you guys don't be fucking around my dad. They'll
Hmm.
they see me like there till like nighttime, and then I call up. I'm like, hey, oh, what are you calling? Weren't you here today? Yeah, but I just want to make sure that he good. Don't be. I'm the person that you'll see every day. And granted, I am a nice person because like I have a. I won't say which hospital he's at or he was at, right?
Hmm.
But like I had an experience where he was getting a little better. Um so now he's able to walk out of the bed using the walker, and I just asked someone, I was like, "Oh, are you able to help me with my dad?" Okay. Like I said, like, "Oh, he needs to use the washroom." And I was like, can you come and help him go to the washroom?" I'm not doing it, fam. I'm like, I'm always like now to my dad. I'm like, Dad, if you're about to use the washroom, please just curtains, curtains. You don't want to see those voyagers where they want to watch you do things. Oh, so make sure you
Come
just.
on.
I
A
said
little
it. I
extra
said
there,
it
but it is possible. I can't laugh at that.
because
I,
there was like four people like to the room, right? And there's one guy like across from him and stuff. I'm like, I'm pretty sure you don't want someone like watching you and things, right? So like,
mm,
let me just pull the curtain. Just give me a second, or just
mm,
use the things, right? But there's also like even the balance. Like, I haven't found that balance yet. Um, how were you able to balance with like social life and dealing with your mom?
yeah, it was
And
very
I know
tough.
she was like more self-sufficient, but
Mhm.
how were you able to manage that?
That part was very tough. I'm not going to sugarcoat. It was very tough to decide. I decide between. So I just remember this one time. I'll never forget
Hmm.
it. Where I was going to a party. My mom was fine. She was at home,
Hmm.
but she'd asked me to stay with her. And I'm like, man, I already
Oof.
bought tickets to this party. Like, like you look fine. You're not sick. Like, yo. So I ended up going to the party, and to this day, it's just like, even though it wasn't towards the end of her life, it was still
Hmm.
something that every now and then I was like, yeah, she just wanted you to lie down with her, and you went out to some. I don't remember the party. That's the joke. I don't even remember what party I went to. I just knew I already
Yeah,
bought tickets.
yeah.
And even to this day, sometimes I'm like, man, why didn't you just lay down with her, and just.
Hmm.
But I'm sure, like a lot of people go through that guilt after a while, where you're thinking to yourself, I could have done this a little bit more. I could have done. I'm
Hmm.
okay to say that I did a lot. Uh, of course, you always want to think you want to do more, but I have to, at some point, be okay with the fact that
Realize.
you did this much. And it does
Hmm.
affect your social life, but that's a part of life. You know.
Indeed, indeed. Honestly, I can count the number of people that have actually seen me since I've been dealing with this for the last month. And usually I'd see like you know, I'm at least able to communicate with people and keep an update, but like to actually see someone, no. I literally have missed what the Black Tech conference, which is I was kind of I was too tired to go anyways, but
Ah,
I was like, dang, like I wish I would have been able to go just to network, just
mm,
like networking wise, right? Just to push the business. I missed like like my god families, like just hanging out,
mm.
another event, and just a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm like, I'm just too tired.
Yeah, no,
Like,
don't worry about, because to be honest, those
mhm,
events, and those things you're talking about,
mhm,
you're not gonna really think about it after. You just,
yeah,
like I said,
like.
I can't remember what party I went to.
Mhm. Like
You know,
the God family one, because I just wanted to like take some time to breathe. because like I think, and someone mentioned this to me today, and I'm almost gonna do a shout out to others. What did they call it? Caregiver burnout. I was like, I feel like I'm almost there, and
Mm.
don't even get me started if I'm hungry. then it's then it's a done deal. Like my tolerance for um anything is just low, right? And I think I've experienced that this week. And that's just because I'm like trying to meal plan at the same time. I even used Chat GPT. I was like, okay, Chat GPT, I need to do this week. I need to get it done. But my dad is in the hospital. Please add these things in and tell me how to figure out my schedule. I saw it. I loved it. Ask me which ones were done.
I was gonna ask, did you use it? That was my next question. I was gonna
So
ask you, did you use it?
I want to say 20% of the thing that it told me to do, I was able to do. Like even like washing my hair just to look proper. It was like, yeah, do it on Tuesday. I was like, okay, I'm going to do it after my meeting. I
It
did
didn't
not
get
do
done.
it. It wasn't until like Thursday where I was like, no, I actually have to leave early so I can at least get this done. And if I go to bed late, so be it. But I just need this hair to be done. It's driving me
Mhm.
nuts. And I managed to do it. So it's kind of, 2 days off or even the meal prepping. It was like, I think I made some food Wednesday and I done it off like that same day. It was
Oh wow.
so,
Okay. Okay.
but it was so nice. It was like I made bok choy and okra, and I was like, okay, let me taste it a little bit before the
I know
mashed
that
potato soup.
feeling. I know that feeling, and you're like, oh, not bad. But by the time you didn't even serve yourself, it's out. You eat it right out the pot. Was that it?
I put it in a container, and I was
Okay.
like, well, I'm just gonna finish this off and stuff. So it's I understand like the caregiver burnout aspect, and I'm trying to minimize that happening. And I think I even seen something about um I don't know if you know Fairstone, but they have like an article about um navigating as a coworker as a not coworker as a caregiver. And hold on. So here's one fact. Over 52% of Canadians report difficulties managing caregiving costs, with 3 in 5 unpaid caregivers spending up to 500 on care related costs per month. That's wild. I don't think I haven't reached that aspect, but
Mhm.
I
Where your dad is at
definitely
now? Are you paying for
know.
parking?
No, I take the bus
Oh,
just so I could.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So even so, okay. So now that you asked that, good. So I was taking Lyft, and like I was going back and forth, and I was like, yo, this is actually really adding up. Like I need to like minimize this cost. And I was like trying to be like, yo, me too good for the bus, I'm just gonna do a
Mhm.
quick lift because it was close, right? Like I rather take the lift, get there within 10 minutes and I'll be okay. Or like, okay, if I left at like the times when I was leaving at midnight, okay, I'll just take a lift and it'll be quick and easy.
Mhm.
What? Now taking the bus, it takes like a half an hour, so I like have to plan my life
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
everything. And I'm like, that's why like I had to mentally prepare myself. I was like, yo, if I don't leave by 8 o'clock, I'm not going to go get home by 8:30, and I'm gonna not gonna want to do my hair. So at least let me get home at a reasonable time so I can do stuff. Or even yesterday, I was supposed to go to the Olive Branch um of Hope. It's an event about like just breast cancer survivors,
Oh
and I
wow.
wanted to go, but that wasn't in Ajax. and I didn't leave my dad until 8:30 because he just moved into the next facility, and I was like, okay, I just need to understand, how they work and stuff. I can't just leave right at um like 5. But by the time I got out, I was like, yo, I'm too exhausted to go. Like I couldn't even make it. The event finished at 9, and I was like, amazing,
Yeah,
Cam.
I mean, they're gonna come and go. To your point, they're gonna come and go. These events,
Yeah.
the main focus is your dad. At the end of the day, like I said, and I'm gonna keep saying it, I don't even remember what party I went to when I was talking
Hmm.
about that. I don't remember. So
Yeah.
all these things that you're talking about that you're missing out, they
Hmm.
don't matter right now. It's all about your dad and where you could be, to
Hmm.
best help him. All those little other events that you want to go to,
Hmm.
cool, if you have
Yeah.
the time or the capacity and the energy. But yeah, that's like second nature. And trust me, your dad appreciates you. He low key, he's bragging about you, like, yo, my daughter just came and showed up. She brought me this today, or maybe you don't hear it, but he's telling somebody like, yo, my daughter,
Yeah.
she's representing well. I raised her well. He gives
True.
you those kudos. I don't know if he's given it to you already, but definitely appreciate
No, I mean, not as in yes, he does. Like
it.
we had like a moment where he was like, "Thanks for coming." I was like, "Of course." Like, why
Yeah,
wouldn't I
what do you
be here,
expect? Yeah.
right? Like why wouldn't I come? Like as soon as I heard, I like dropped everything and things, right? So we've been having like a lot of heartfelt moments. So like I
Mhm.
could say that's like a great thing about um being a caregiver. But there definitely needs like a village or a support system
Mhm.
because and I think like with you having your brother was how was that dynamic? Did you guys like take turns and things?
Yeah, I mean, my brother has a family, so
Mm,
it's an extra, wife and kids. So for him, it was, hey, look, I got this,
mhm,
no problem, I got this. So you can get it the next time, or whatever the case may be.
yeah.
Um, we managed to get through it without any real hitches.
Good,
We
good.
beginning of the week, we're like, yeah, you got mom on Wednesday, you're gonna go check her this day, just, hey, did you do this? Just kind of following up with each other to
Mhm,
to figure out how we're gonna get this done. So for my brother, we didn't have that many issues.
mhm.
More for him wanting to help a bit more because he had the family and everything. And man, I
Yeah.
feel, don't feel guilty, man. You got your two young kids to worry about. But yeah, he definitely was there. I can't ever say that he wasn't there.
Mhm.
We
Good.
managed to balance that pretty well.
I like how you guys were able to balance it on days, right? So days, you're like, okay, so you
Well,
have
what would
Wednesday.
happen with Princess Margaret? It wasn't always a set day, so
Okay.
it's kind of like we'd know sometimes. I'm trying to remember how it worked. I just know it wasn't always a Wednesday, always a Monday. It would kind of switch
Mm, mhm.
depending
Okay.
on the doctor
Availability.
availability, right? So that would switch a lot.
Hmm.
But yeah, like, back to that point, I know your dad's bragging about you and talking like, "Yo, that's
Him
my girl,
better.
right?"
Him better. Well, like everyone that's seen him is definitely um acknowledges me there and stuff, and I'm also happy when he's able to get visitors as well because um it's a different environment when you have other people. Like the other day I was there with him and his best friend and an old friend that he hasn't seen in like 40 odd years, to the point where I'm like, where are you now, you know my papa. And the second he said my grandma's name,
Oh, okay.
I was like, okay, you do know my dad. But how
I'll
do
give
you
you a
know my
pass.
dad?
Yeah.
I'm like the security, right? I'm like,
Mhm.
because at the same time you got to be mindful of who comes around them too, right? Yo, I'm locking that ish down. I'm kind of annoyed that I forgot to take his phone because I'm trying to minimize like stresses and stuff. Cause I don't want anyone like, oh, what happened to the Caribbean and people? They're
Yeah,
so fast,
yeah,
and I'm like, relax, relax. You're
yeah.
gonna make him stress about what happened and then bring it back up. And like I was able to minimize like the conversation. Like he would just look at me like, what else should I say? I was like, yeah, so this is what happened and that, and they're like, oh, okay, okay. But I didn't want to. I felt like at a moment in time, because yes, I'm the child, I'm the adult child and stuff, and his friends are there and they're like having a great conversation and you can hear how the yachties talk and things, but I never wanted them to think like he's at a state where he can't have a conversation with his friends. Like I
Mm.
wanted them to still see like, nah, he's good enough that you can talk to him, but don't talk too fast. Don't be the typical Jamaicans that chat so fast and he's like, huh, right? So I definitely didn't want that aspect to happen. And I'm trying to think like,
I would say for me too, one good thing, and I'm gonna I assume you're doing this is kind of asking a lot of questions about their past and
mhm,
different
mhm.
stories. Oh my gosh, I used to love that. Like trying to get down to the nitty. So how was it when you were a child, and how did you meet my dad, and just things
Yes.
like that, and then just seeing them go into this memory lane and they're reminiscing, and I love that. Absolutely
I
love that.
That's why I was just sitting there and just listening. Cause they're like, yo, when we came back in the 70s, oh, we were like 19 and so I'm like, chat, chat.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I'm here.
Tell me the raw. I don't want any edits.
I want the raw deal. And then
Mhm.
like his other friend, he's like, oh, but there's a young lady. I was like, no, 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 pretend I'm not even here. I'm not
Yeah,
even here. Don't even worry
yeah.
about it. So I just like to see those moments. And what was one thing that happened? I like at first I didn't know who the guy was, right? I was like, me never see you in my life.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, you don't exist. But then my dad is so bold to saying like, oh, how's your ex-wife? And they said the name, and I was like, oh, boom, I remember this name, and then it connects with that, and I'm like, oh, all right, you're good. You can stay. You get a pass.
Yeah.
And he like even I don't know if I don't know if this is a new rule, but you actually can't send flowers. You can't bring anyone flowers when they're in the hospital.
I'm trying to
That's a
think.
new thing.
Is it new?
That, I guess since COVID or how policies change and things.
I know. I'm just trying to think if even before that, if that
Like back at the I
was.
swear I've seen and I'm gonna say it as in a way like, okay, maybe it's only the movies, but I swear say you're allowed to bring flowers. Because even when my mom was in the hospital years ago, I swear we got like the get well soon flowers, right? So like I swear those
It
are
could
the
be new.
case.
I'm not 100% sure if how new that
Yeah, it's
is.
been a minute. So like if anyone wants to say like if it's a new case, because I'm just shocked that there's that you can't even bring flowers, right? Because you also want people to feel loved and noticed.
I know.
That's one
There's
thing.
other ways though. I mean, there's other gifts you can give.
Yeah, someone
Besides.
did bring him like food, not food. So I've brought my dad. So well, I was able to do my meal prep. I was able to bring him food. Let me tell you this:
She's looking
that
around like, oh.
food is shit. That food is trash. I was so annoyed.
Hmm.
I I'm so like my new entertainment is all right. Let's see what you have today. And I open up, and there's times I'm just like, oh, what is? Yo, nah, man, you're not eating this. This is absolutely ridiculous. Like I can't even believe they gave this to you. And it sucks because he's like on a vegetarian diabetic type of meal. So it's like th- this is the best you're gonna get unless you want to bring your own food.
So
Listen,
wait,
they gave
the food that was no good, that was what you cooked?
no, of course not.
Okay, no, no,
That
I
they
just
did,
wanted
that they gave, that they gave. So like what the other day, I remember they gave him baked beans,
to.
the tomato sauce one, so nothing else,
Mm,
white rice,
okay.
and green beans. And I was like, if you don't give him something better than this, I am going to lose my mind. So I was like, yo, what is this? No, 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 he doesn't eat baked beans. You got to give him something else. Oh, so sorry. But I was like, I don't understand what you're talking about. He ate them yesterday. I was like,
Oh. He
I
was
don't care.
hungry. He was hungry.
I was
What
like,
is wrong with
I don't
you?
care. Give him something else. They're like, oh, well, we have tuna sandwiches. I'll take it. It's better than
Mm,
this crap, right? Because he can eat fish. Do they have the best fish? I don't know. But I think it's better. So for folks that are listening and in the replay, you definitely want to bring them food if they're
yeah,
able to have food,
yes.
right? I think that's important just so they can feel they're in an environment that they're not aware about, right? One thing I know for sure, the first time he was able to get food, he was like, "You know what I feel for?" I was like, "What do you feel for?" He's like, "Fish." I was like, "Okay, what
Yeah.
kind of fish?" Snapper. I was like, "Queer." I was like, "Yo, you're not easy." So he's
You
like,
got it
"Yeah,
though,
go
right?
ahead." I mean, my brother did. That's another story, but he did get it. But then I realized he just took out the tube, right? And I was like, "Ooh, is that a good idea?" I was like,
Mm,
"Darn it." I was like, "You know what? I
you're second
shouldn't."
guessing now.
Yeah, because I'm like, "You're just getting solids. Is this the right food for you to have?" And obviously, you're really hungry. You'll take anything. And I was like, "You know what? Let me just how about we should have got you a salmon, less bones, because it's less bones. The man.
Oh,
So I was
okay.
thinking that wise, like safety reasons, right?
Okay. Makes sense.
But by the time I actually thought about it, my brother's like, I already got it. I was like, hey,
And he was fine. Your dad.
I kid you not, he probably had a quarter of it. He's like, you can have the rest. I was like, that.
Were you feeling for Snapper?
Oh, I'll eat snapper any time of the day, but I'm doing like
So
a
it worked out.
plant-based
It worked
challenge.
out.
I have it still. I'm holding on to it. I don't care. I put it in the freezer and everything. So I was like, I will have this snapper. Don't you worry. And stuff, right? Um, so let's see. There's so as the where you work, and you said that a lot of clients are like thinking this is not affordable. What are other alternatives that they can think of? I know I had to give it back into the finance aspect just a
That's
little
a good
bit.
question. That's a tough one though. Because if you haven't prepared ahead, it's very tough. So you may
Mhm.
have to go into some sort of savings. But I know they do have long-term care insurance,
Mhm.
so you can use that. Some insurance plan, for example, if you have a permanent whole life policy, you may have some cash build up inside that policy you could pull out from.
True.
That's another option. So anybody out there looking for an insurance plan, seriously consider whole life
Mhm.
if you can afford it. It's not for everyone. Whole life is definitely not for everyone, but it is an opportunity to have your money grow tax free, right?
Mhm.
Inside your insurance policy. So that's something that you can kind of consider.
I
Other than
like how
that, I
you
know
mentioned.
was it Shayna? Shayna, right? So
Yeah.
she had a good one. I'm sure she probably has a couple others that
Yeah.
because I'm not
I
currently actually going through it to know, but That would like that home in was it home in community care?
Yeah. So this one. So home
Yeah,
and
home and
community
community
care.
care. I didn't I had never heard of that, and I'm sure a lot of people haven't heard of that. So
Yeah.
that's
So that's,
definitely a great resource to put out to the general public. You know.
yes, and I guess it all depends on what conditions families have, because even with the long-term disability insurance, no, am I saying it right?
Critical illness.
Yes, critical illness. Um, I think there's some rules and regulations with that. Like obviously,
Yeah.
like
Well,
right, if
critical
you
illness,
have,
and I'm sorry I didn't even mention that. Critical illness can definitely help. Uh,
hmm
I know Shayna was you mentioned her mother's is it dementia or is it Alzheimer's?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So they
both.
do have in your critical illness policy, you can get paid out for that. So
Okay.
if someone has
The
dementia, there are policies that will help you out with that. So yeah,
yeah,
critical illness for sure. As a matter of fact, my mom had critical illness also, and that helped a lot, definitely a lot. Once we
nice.
filed that claim and she got
Mhm.
that lump sum of money, she was very, very happy, you know, because it releases a lot of stress. Like, okay,
Yes.
now I don't have to worry about this bill and things of that nature. I can just kind of go through the motions and heal. When she got that check, she's like, now I can go on the trip I always wanted to go on. Now I can
Mhm.
fix up this in my house, and now I can pay for these this medication and
Yeah.
things of that nature. So yeah, as a matter of fact, a lot of the plans that I do put through, I always urge clients to put on a little
I
bit of
know,
critical,
because
because
I
you just
think
don't
there's.
know. Like it's just like for me, I just keep hearing more and more people getting cancer. It's like, where's it coming from?
Mhm.
By the
Yeah.
food. But
Food.
at least there's something out there that can help. So yeah, long-term care, critical illness, some disability plans do help out with that also.
True. True. I think, and I, from what I remember, because I've had a family friend that had a stroke twice, right?
Oh
So
wow, older or
yeah,
younger?
older, older.
Okay.
So like the first time they had a stroke, they got cashed out, boom, and they decided to get the critical illness
Critical illness.
again. You dang well know what they added that they didn't include on the
Yeah.
critical illness the second time. The stroke. It's a done deal. Once you're like,
Yes, once you have the first, yeah, that's it.
hmm
Like you can't, yeah,
you're like,
they will take it
oh,
on.
there's a high possibility that
This
you
can
might
happen
have
again.
another one.
Yeah, yeah,
Nah, we ain't giving you this money again.
yeah,
So that's,
yeah.
I think that's why it's important for even like our age, like to think about that, because like the food that we eat and things that are happening, the stress and everything. Knock upon wood, me don't wish no sickness on anyone me know or anyone me don't know, but you really want to be able to nip that in the butt. It's just the same concept as like life insurance. Just in case, have illness
Mm.
critical illness insurance, because you never know what's going to happen when you're 20, 30 years from now. And look how I've been seeing a lot of mishaps that are happening. And when I mean mishaps, like cancer, sickness, and stuff, and I'm like, oh, this is so
Yeah, yeah.
common now. It's
It's
scary.
getting common, yeah, yeah, and
Mm.
it's happening to people that you may not think because you're like, oh, that person's young. They
Yeah,
should they shouldn't that shouldn't happen to them, you know.
yeah.
Um,
So
they
that's
just yeah.
definitely one thing I want people to be mindful about. So like, having those securities, and yes, if you use your savings, hopefully it's not your whole life savings that you're using, unless it's a time to go, then okay, but like kind of preparing yourself for those things, right? You definitely want to prepare for those, and I'm glad that you mentioned that, and Shayna as well, because and just looking for those resources. I think the one thing that we have that I've found is I don't know where to go, right? And it's not until
Mhm.
you talk to people and then you're able to like, oh, have you thought about this? Have you gone here? Like even yesterday, I told someone, and they're like, hold on, let me see what they said. They gave me like so many resources, right? And I was like, okay, sick, sick, sick. Like I love this. Um,
There's actually a nonprofit that I'm going to be doing a couple seminars with called the Clinic.
nice. The
And
clinic?
yeah, if you follow them on IG, the
Hmm.
Clinic, they have a lot of resources. They're really doing a good job trying to uh, uh, help our community kind of display the resources of what's out there.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
they do post and they'll put out some stuff. It's called the Clinic. So
The
I would
clinic.
advise anyone kind of check them out. They do have a lot of different resources and different events that give out a lot of great information. I wanted to also say one thing when it comes to insurance. Like a lot of people, I don't need insurance. I'll use my savings or I'll use this house. That's the purpose of insurance, to give them the risk. You know, put the risk
Mm,
on
mm.
them
Yeah.
while you continuously kind of save on this side. Put
True.
the risk over there. Okay, the risk of me getting cancer. Okay, I'll leave that to them. And well, yeah, that's why I just want to stress. A lot of people just remember they're taking on the risk that you may not necessarily want to or can.
Yeah. True. But it's that that ego pride thing, right? Because it's like how many people have ooh, Kayla, get your ass over here. Well, that's what I said. Finding resources is huge. The Gain Clinic is amazing for helping seniors find the resources they need, and it's been so
Oh, I
helpful.
never heard of the Gain Clinic. Okay.
Yeah, I only heard about it recently from Kayla as well because obviously we're dealing with the same thing. Like even my grandma, I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm not even her POA. Should I even be dealing with this mostly? Like,
Remind people what POA is.
hmm?
I see. You may want to remind people what a
Oh yeah,
POA
sorry. True, true, true. So POA is power of attorney.
is. Yeah.
So that's someone that is dealing either with the people's finances or their health. It's just ironic that I'm dealing
Yeah.
with
Yeah,
it,
you're
but
talking about it, and all of a sudden you're like, "Oh wow, I'm here!" Like this is for
but
me in the
like,
driver's seat.
and it's and like the gain, it's mostly for folks that like mentioned seniors with Alzheimer's or things, and there are I know Scarborough General has. I know Michael Garin, whatever that hospital is called, has one. But there's obviously many more. But you definitely want to talk to your family doctor, right? I think that one's most important as well. Hold on, this where's this woman? This one. I'm trying to make her jump in because she is also dealing with um well my godmother grandmother with Alzheimer's, so I'm
Oh
trying to get
wow,
her
sorry to
in.
hear that.
Perhaps she'll come through. But it's just, like juggling all of this, it really it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
And I really wanted to like broadcast it, like if there's people that want a support team, like we can do a kumbaya unite
Mm.
as one caregivers to just like be able to handle it because it's a lot, like, and you know what's the I don't know if this happened to you. I guess I learned how to be prideful and be like, nah, 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 I got this. Like, oh, Camille, nah, 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 I got this. And now I'm like, oh, you know what?
I need help.
I need help,
Yeah, I need
and I just don't know
just a little. I
how.
just need a ride here. Yeah.
Right? But like, if when it happened to you, were you able to manage that? Like, be able to ask for help when needed?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm not as prideful. If I need help, I'll ask. Hey, I need a ride here, or I need help with this. I had a one of my cousins. He came in to help out a couple times when I was at work, and I had to. Oh man, I got to do this. I don't know if I'll be able to get off at the
Hmm.
time when I was working
Yeah.
um, for another company, and I was like, "Hey, I need help." So yeah, I'm not afraid to ask for help when
It's
it
just
came to
me.
that situation, at least. Other things, yeah, I'll be like, I don't need help.
Oh,
But
yeah.
definitely, when it came to my mom, I wasn't afraid. No.
Hmm. So basically, I need to learn that aspect
There were
when
a
someone
couple.
wants
There's
to.
gonna be a situation where you'd be like, you know what?
I
I
just
got
need
a
a
favor.
clone.
Huh?
I just need a clone. I just need a clone. That's all.
You're gonna start cashing in favors soon.
I'll just
You
be
know.
like,
Yeah. Yeah. You're gonna have your mental note like, yo, I remember I helped out so and so.
but I
Yo,
never
I
want to
remember
do
you
that.
said.
It's just like, oh, whenever you need something,
Yes, I was gonna say that.
honestly, if anyone wants to, the only thing I can really think of is that someone can help me with is food. But I did cook today. Like I made. I actually did not do my usual. It's going down the kitchen with Chef Cameo, but I made like this. I made chickpeas pasta with like I made this pesto sauce. It's actually Bob Diggity. Like
Yeah.
just thinking about
You
it,
know
I'm
what?
like,
The viewers don't care because you're not sharing. Okay, like you're gonna. Oh, this pesto sauce is so great. Oh my gosh, it was melted in my mouth. Meanwhile, I'm like, I haven't eaten yet, yo. Like, what's going on? Unless you can share, I don't want to hear about it.
oh
Got my
man.
belly rumbling as she talks about chickpeas. Oh, I got this pesto sauce. Oh my
I
god,
made it from
die for it.
scratch. It was live. I was like, yo,
It's
this is
just die
cool.
for it.
Okay. Hello, Mini on Cam. I thought you weren't coming true either. She was the one that was giving me resources as well. Um, she says, I thought I missed you. Nah, nah, nah. We here, right? But yeah, I think when it, you know what, there's one thing I am fortunate enough is having friends that I'm able to talk to when
Mhm.
I'm going through my emotions. I'm like, I need to vent. And they're like, yo, we're here. I was like, and all
Yeah,
that
sometimes you
stuff.
just need that common voice where someone just calm and yeah, just
Yeah.
just just relax, just relax to center yourself. Everybody needs that,
Yeah. And,
you know.
and having a support team is ideal and just, and whoever wants to cook for me, by all means, but it has to be plant based right now. And actually the one thing I want to do is being a caregiver and taking it in. I really want to give a shout out to like the nurses and NPs
Mhm.
that are doing this every damn day or whatnot. So to my friends that are nurses and in the healthcare system, PSWs, and
Yeah, no,
big up yourselves. Like honestly, I'm not even
yeah,
joking. Like
I agree.
I, even though there's some that kind of annoy the out of me, like
We're not gonna
I
focus
think
on them. We're gonna focus on the
exactly
good ones,
the
right?
good ones is good. And one thing that I've come to realize is the healthcare needs help.
Mm.
Like I think you mentioned before, like, or no,
Mm.
I'll mention it. I've heard people say that they're underfunded, and I'm seeing it. Like they we need more help in
Really?
the system, um and just getting the special care. And even my heart goes out to a family. Like I've even made a community when I was there.
Hmm.
And like one of the people that I got close with, they lost their husband, and I just want to say
Oh no.
RIP to them. And yo, I'm usually a hardcore. I'm like, You ain't go see me cry. Yo, I saw her. She was bawling. I saw her son, and he's 15, and I'm like, I am so sorry you have to experience this at this age. I experienced it when I was 20 years older than you, and it
Mm,
hit me hard. I can only imagine how it is for someone that's a teenager just getting into high school.
yeah,
And
and
that
you need
even
so
makes,
much guidance at that age.
yeah, it's like his dad, like, yo, I literally started like bawling. I was like, I'm trying to keep it strong, but I can't. And I don't usually, usually I'm able to desensitize myself or like keep it in, but it's also not good to do that either. I
Hmm.
know that.
Hmm.
But like my heart goes out to everyone that's affected and dealing with being a caregiver. Like it's not easy. It's not
Hmm.
easy, right? I mean, okay, yes, I'm in the maze of the healthcare system, so I know the frustration solo. I know it's hard if you are an advocate for someone else. Yes, and that's what Shayna mentioned as well, right? Like being an advocate. And I talk about all the time on my channel how the health system is broken, especially for folks that are disabled. I don't worry, Mini on Cam. I know what you I understand what you're going through, and I'm right there behind you, sister.
So is that a
Like,
topic that Minnie focuses on at all or all the
yes.
time? Because it would be good just to if she could shout out her channel,
Mhm.
right? So
Yes, come shout out. Well, even she has been on here a couple
okay.
times. We've had like many conversations, but yeah, definitely shout out yours because especially for folks that are, even though I feel like being a caregiver is still the concept with someone that's disabled, like you still have to work around those things because there's the RDSP,
Hmm.
um, the Registered Disability Savings Plan, or even when you want to get your tax credits with the DTC, which is the disability tax credit. If I may be incorrect with that word, kind of, but DTC is the right form, but you definitely want to be mindful about that because if you're taking care of someone, there's ways that you can get funding for that as well.
Hmm.
And that's really important too. Like I think as a caregiver, you want to make sure you have things intact with the critical illness insurance or life insurance. But if it can't, and you're gonna have to start going into your savings and stuff, that's when the real stress comes into play, and then you both will be there side by side. I almost told my dad, I was like, "Oh, you really want to stress me to the point where you want me to sit right beside you?" Oh, right.
Hmm.
Um. Oh yeah, and being a caregiver for someone on ODSP or provincial disability social assistant program. So yeah, definitely want to do that. And there are trustees. So that's important. So like Damien, what's one thing you would want to share with someone that is so one thing that you want to share with a caregiver that's dealing with it right now and also for someone that doesn't know how tricky it can be. Like,
If you're dealing with right now, I would say, yeah, definitely you want to look at your support systems so you're not handling it all on your own. Hopefully, you do have some family members that are engaged because I've seen so many families once tragedy happens, you start to see the separation of who's going to help and who doesn't want to help and who wants to do this, and things of that nature. So that's number one. You want to look out for your support system.
mhm,
Hopefully, you work for someone that's that's caring. Like I know when I was working, my boss at the time, he had my back. Like when I
yeah,
had my back, he was covering for me, and when I needed to leave and come, oh my gosh, I can't say
nice.
enough about him. So hopefully you do have you work for a company that is really understanding. You want that human element
Yes,
with your
absolutely.
employer. Yeah, for sure, for sure. And then preparing for the future because you just don't know. Look into it. Talk to someone like me, or maybe you have an advisor that you can kind of talk to about your options. One
Yeah.
thing I wanted to say about critical illness: not every critical illness plan is the same. You got to
Hmm.
really look into what is covered, how long it's going to be covered. Certain people that sit down with me, they're concerned with certain ailments, and is this going to be covered? So I look at the
Hmm.
different carriers and figure out, okay, who can cover this, and
Yeah,
especially with dementia. Like I'm noticing there's I guess a rise with dementia, and we just don't know where it's coming from. Like where is
I
it
know.
repeating? And
I
you
I
know,
I read something. I not read. It was a post on Instagram saying that it's a little bit of like sugar, alcohol, and all that stuff. Like you really want to be mindful about what you're putting in your body.
hmm
That will cause because. And I know, once in a while we like to have a little drink, but I guess you want to be very mindful of what's happening with your body and also family history.
family history for sure. I would be interested to know, to your point, what those studies are saying. Like,
Hmm.
what are the leading causes? What have they found out? Okay, well, you eat X amount of sugar. This is what could possibly happen. That'd be
Yes.
something I would like to know. Maybe put up
And
some stats on that.
and this is not me just because I'm doing plant-based right now. I'm not trying to say become alkaline and things. I still like my seafood or snapper and things. It's just I guess we want to be mindful like obviously there is a serious thing happening with like cancers, seizures, dementia, and all that stuff, or strokes. Like, we really got to be mindful about that, right? And
Mhm.
family history, check what is in your family history and even try to do that once you're in your 20s just to try to prevent that from happening to you. Um, and how can the folks find you, sir?
Oh, I'm legacywealthadvisory.ca is the website. I'm on Instagram, Legacy Wealth Advisory. .ca. I'm on LinkedIn, Damian F. Alexander. It's funny, someone was trying to find me. They couldn't find me. So I didn't realize that the Damian F was there. I was like, oh, yeah, okay, that's probably why. But yeah, I'm on
Oh
LinkedIn.
no. Yeah.
I'm on Facebook. I'm not as active on Facebook, which I need to pick it up. I just find, I don't know, when you have all these social media apps, oh my gosh, it just gets to you. But I am on Facebook. I am on
Yeah.
Facebook.
What
Um,
about which one do you like better? IG, Facebook, or LinkedIn?
Okay, so IG is probably the most entertaining. So I'm because there's so many different facets to IG, and I really like
Yes.
IG, but for my audience, it's mostly on LinkedIn, which I tell people all the time. I wish there was a way that they could make LinkedIn a bit more fun, I guess, because it's kind of
I agree. I agree. Trust me.
if there was a
I
way, if we could come up with a think tank to figure out how to, I don't know, make it a little bit more hip to make me want to stay on longer. I mean, I do it out of necessity. I'm not really
mhm.
that big on LinkedIn, but I am there and I'm getting a bit more active. So those are the places you can find me.
Awesome. And then just before we wrap up, call it Disability Mental Association with family checking out on helping. Awesome. It took me a year to find critical illness that would cover me
Yeah,
like sleep. Oof, yeah.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
we were
That's a
talking
very
about
good
that
one.
before.
Yeah, yeah. Pre-existing can.
Maybe I do not want to talk about their history. Mine didn't. And that's not pride and ego, I tell you, because how else are we going to find out, right? And then all of a sudden you get, ooh, this happened, right? And then some Neon Cam said she found you. So boom bam. So you have a new person. And Kayla, you watch me and you after this is. They're calling Alzheimer's type. Oh, you know what? I did hear that also. There are more factoring impacts.
Really? Okay. I should know
Mm.
this. Yeah, no, yeah, I didn't know that. Okay. I should know
I did. You know what? I did see that IG one too. So yeah, this and I mean, when it comes to, I feel like what in the black community, diabetes is really common in our community. So let's be mindful, folks. The sugar
Yeah, yeah,
not good. The sugar not good.
yeah, yeah. It's so
But
true. Our community, when it comes to diabetes, oh,
what you? But I am trying to cut down on my sugar, and I need to focus more on drinking more water. I know Kayla's gonna be like,
so do you
but
use any
no.
sort of sweetener? Are you using honey to substitute that, or you just say no sugar? No.
So right now, agave is the only
Oh
sweetener I
yes, I use
use.
agave. Yes, expensive, but
So
yeah.
because my brother for being alkaline, so I just take his stuff. But yeah, that's the only one, or honey when we have like organic honey and things. So that's the only thing. I don't need sugar in my peppermint tea.
Mhm.
Nah, I don't need that. Like unless I'm in Morocco where they have it like the cool style and stuff. Nah, I don't need no
Okay.
sugar, so it's all good.
You
But
know
no,
what?
I
To your point, it is
uh,
good to because good to get off the sugar.
mm,
If you're a sugar person, it's very difficult. I was, and oh, it's so hard. Like you don't
get
realize it
withdrawal.
until you, yeah, you get withdrawal. And once I weaned myself off of processed sugar, I felt
Mm,
it. I was just like, yo, I just need a little. I need that hit. You know, like I need the hit.
I need that hit. Hey, it's
Oh,
like
hit. Oh, you know. Oh man, you need that hit, but
yeah.
after a while, you get used to it. You
Mhm, mhm. And
yeah.
it's like, and then we also have to think of moderations, right?
Hmm.
Moderations. And see, oh, sweet and low. They know it's linked to cancer. So don't off all them
Yeah. Okay,
things
that's
there.
it. Thank you,
Yeah,
Amy. That's it.
artificial, right?
Mm.
Artificial sugars lead to cancer. That one we've found out long time. But them try to kill us off any other way they can. They even got try to mash up ginger ale.
I heard about that recently. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it's
I'm
like
not
we
just trying to
got
cheese.
body.
We
Yeah,
can't
my
have
dad is a
anything
health.
good.
My dad is like a health nut. Like he doesn't, and
He
he's
doesn't
been
do that
warning me for years. Huh?
about ginger ale or just in general.
Everything, ginger ale, and anything. I pick up something. He's like, son, you know what's in that, right? Uh, You know what's in that, right? Let me tell you. I'll tell you what's in it. You know, I'll let you
Big
know
up your
what's in it.
dad.
Yeah,
you,
no, my dad
you know.
is serious when it comes to that.
Oh man, always have fiber with your sugar. Exercise helps to keep the okay.
Mm,
Nice. See, we got a big. See, this is what we need. The see, bomb, bomb, bomb. It's that Schwapps or whatever the frig it is. That's the messed up one,
mm. So
right?
do you go to the gym often or okay?
Fam,
But
I haven't gone to the gym
did
this.
I hit a sore spot? What's going
You know
on here?
what? I think I've been to the gym once or twice this year. But
Oh wow.
I've been doing walks. So I've been doing
Okay,
walks.
so the
Obviously I
walks
haven't
help,
done
yeah.
anything. Um I kid you not, the only time I actually worked out, like a serious good workout, was November 1st. And I was like, all right, guys, it's November 1st. It's financial literacy month. I'm going to work out. I'm going to be healthy. I'm going to do a detox. And boom, we're going to do it all together. And then November 4th happened. And I was like, fuck.
Yeah, yeah, it happens, it happens. But
So,
otherwise, you'd be there, like,
I try, but I mean, I do still try to walk around like in the
hmm
hospital. So now I know everything. I know all the ins and outs. So now I have to figure out this other place. I found their recreation center. They have puzzles. It's really awesome. So walk, guys. If you can't work out, but I'm
yeah.
really gonna do a challenge to do planks. So if you want to do a plank challenge with me, I would love that. I just need accountability, just a little bit.
How long is this
Why are
challenge
you
going to be?
looking at just
No, you know
plank as
what?
long as
I
you
say that
can?
because if you want to get like abs and stuff, they say you should be doing planks. And
Listen,
I was
yeah,
like, "Oh, I don't want to do planks. I want to do planks. So when you said it, it was just like
just do the
planks and burpees are my enemy.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so boom, planks. I'm gonna message you every day. I'm
And
gonna message you every
how long
day
are we doing these planks for?
as long as you can. And you just
Okay.
record how long you did it for.
We
Like
gotta
on
record
like a
it too.
the not record not record, just the clock, the
Okay, okay, okay. I thought you meant
yeah.
to show us
No,
how to
no,
do
no, no, no.
it.
Just show me that. I'm hoping and praying you're not gonna be like,
Yeah.
let me just turn on my rear on my timer and I'm gonna just show her like that. So anyone else that wants to do this challenge, boom bam bam. I want to get back to planks. Last this summer, I was able to do up to like 3.5 minutes. Easy money. It was easy. I was just like, "Doo, doo, 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 doo." But then a kid
Really?
whooped
So
my
your
ass.
core is
Yeah,
crazy. Okay.
yeah. A kid whooped my ass though. An 8-year-old beat me
Oh
like
yeah.
5, 8 minutes. I was like, you know what?
Have that.
I would. I would come back just to defeat you, but you know what? You're a young black girl. Do your thing.
Yeah, have
Got
that.
you.
Have that win.
But yes, honestly, I really appreciate you coming through. And it's so
Thanks.
funny because I thought it was gonna be more ladies on as caregivers because I was gonna see, look, see, it's mostly ladies that are caregivers, but I also know that there are male caregivers too.
I will say women, ladies, they come through as caregivers. From my experience and what I've been seeing, oh
Mm-hmm.
my gosh, they come through. So, to your point, there should be more on, but definitely got to give the kudos because I've seen it
Yes,
time and time again. Women, they do show out for their family,
there- yeah, and I mean, most times we have to, right? So but I'm glad your mom was able to experience that, like you showing up for her and also for the others because I've heard the stories, so I know that there are men out there that are doing their things.
Mhm.
And I guess like the last thing I want to say, because I had to go to check out on my dad.
For sure. Yeah.
um
Number
for
one.
the caregivers out there, you are not alone. You're not alone. And if you want to have like a little community for it, hit me up on Fitness IQ or
You
right
never
like
know. You never know, Camille. That could be like a WhatsApp group, and next thing you know, you have this community of people just
yeah,
venting and sharing
yeah,
resources. You just don't know.
yeah. Cause and honestly, I know friends that the stories I've heard like this year, even like today, holy shucks, just today, I was like, fudge, you're going through it. So anyone that's like going through it, and I know I'm the type of person that shuts down and just says to myself, but come, reach out to me. If I know you want someone to talk to vent, I'm here too, because I know what you're going through. So I might do a WhatsApp group too, like caregivers unite, vent.
Yeah, no, that'll be good. Honestly, that
Right?
that type of resource would be very helpful for a lot of people because, to your point, a lot of people probably don't even want to talk about it. Um, I didn't know what was going on with you till I asked, right?
True.
You
Like
know,
yeah, even like what we were supposed to link up, and then I was like about that.
yeah, yeah. So
And then and it was so weird because I wanted to message you, and I'm like, I'm so tired. I can't even message people.
as soon as you said what was going on, I was like, yeah, no doubt, I get it, I understand.
Yeah, yeah.
It's no joke,
So
all hands on deck.
yeah, and in those 30 hours, like nonstop, barely any sleep, folks, you gotta rest. I
Yes,
I'm usually a night owl. What? You won't see me past 2 o'clock unless you like if you see me like online, it's because like my laptop and stuff is online. But or you might catch me on a lucky time. I'm like, yo, this is my day where I just had to do work and I'm grinding. Yo, the other day I tried to do that. I was like, yeah, my brain's done. I'm not working. So,
Mm.
and also for my clients that are listening and you are wondering what's happening, I'm trying to get back. I will try to do more than the bare minimum, but just be patient with me, please. Give as an entrepreneur. I didn't even talk about that.
I will say
Golly.
this, Camille, like you putting that out there now, it's like if you didn't respond back to them in a timely manner, but once you put that out there, now they understand. Now it's like, oh, okay, I need my taxes done, but you're going through something, right? No, it's
Yeah.
good that you're saying that now. So now people are like, okay, I get it now. You're
Oh,
not just
and I have like when someone
okay, good.
messages me, I'm in the hospital and and there's no Wi-Fi. Yo, healthcare, give some people some Wi-Fi so people can still do work while they're there.
Didn't
Please.
have Wi-Fi there?
The Wi-Fi is trash.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I can't
I
even do a
agree.
Zoom call. I tried to do a
Mm.
Zoom, it just kept coming in and out, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah, it's not strong enough.
it's not, they can't. So yeah, like nah, like I really appreciate you coming through.
No
Shayna,
problem at all.
I know your internet was wonky, but I thank you for sharing a little bit and stuff. Um, yeah, the Wi-Fi is trash, and I will always represent that. Oh, okay. Well, I want to say caregivers unite, vent, so people can just vent and things, right? Is left on to women because.
Oh, now you want to get
Mm.
all deep now. Even you like now you want to get all deep now. Now you want to. Well, that's another show right there. That's another
Minnie, we
show.
can talk about it the next day.
You're
Trust me,
you're you're,
cause
you're digging up something here, right? You're getting into the weeds.
but
I
I
have a
wanted to
question,
post
Camille.
it.
When those questions come up, do they show up when you do the replay or no?
Yeah, they show on the
Okay,
replay as
good.
well. Yeah, so I definitely like that's this one right here. But that's why I wanted to make sure I have someone that is a guy, a man that's able to talk about their experience as well, because I know everyone
I'll
goes
be
through.
honest. You could even do a part two because as soon as you said this, I started thinking of at least five people. I'm
Yeah.
like, man, like they're currently going through it. Not to say like what I'm
Hmm.
I'm saying is not good enough. It's just what I went through was so long ago. But
Hmm.
I know people that are going through it right now, and they talk to me about certain things, and you know
Yeah.
you can
Like
even
men
do a
and
part
ladies.
two.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes,
So whoever
yes.
wants to hear part two, yo, I honestly, I want to have more conversations that's real and I mean, I'm not saying none of my conversations before were
Mhm.
real, but this is something that, yo, this sucks. It's the
Mhm.
same concept as like dealing with a parent passing away. This sucks.
Mhm.
Like you won't know how it feels until you get into the situation.
Yeah, it's true.
Like I know people that are dealing with this and I'm like, oh man, things must be so hard. And then all of a sudden you're like
Oh, now I'm here.
I'm like, yo. And like big up to my friends that gave me Uber Eats gift cards too or Lyft.
Oh, nice.
Because they
You
were
got
like,
friends
oh
like
no.
that?
Yo,
What?
I tell you, yo,
What? What? What?
big up my friends them.
Man, you got
Yeah,
some
yeah.
great friends, man. Appreciate them.
Yes, like hands down, like when you know those times when you feel like, man, I feel like I'm all alone, and it's when circumstances like this happen, you're just like, shit, I got some dope ass friends. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, they
yeah,
real
yeah.
ones. So I wanted to give them a shout out as well. But no, I'll definitely have a part two. And like, yeah, if you want those folks to come true, please, please. I thought, oh,
Yeah.
Yes, 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 yes. Please let give them a shout whenever they're available, even if they can't do it live like this. We can have a conversation because I want to hear more stories, and just so folks are able to understand, and even and I'm gonna make you do it too. The estate planning aspect,
Mm.
or like trust and stuff. That's like one thing our community doesn't know how to handle those things, right? And I just want to have these dope ass conversations where people are aware. And even this, it doesn't even matter what race you are, you're gonna deal with this, right?
Yeah,
So
it's gonna happen. Like,
yeah, I want everyone to be aware. So whether you're Ontario, Alberta, Nova Scotia, we got to find out ways to help out each other. All
I agree.
right. But until next time, folks. So make sure you tell me. All right. So, folks, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, especially those caregiver friends. If you listen, caregivers unite, vent. It's gonna happen. Done no.
Make it
Until next.
happen.
Until next time, folks. Peace out.
I just wanna be free with my people to prosper and hold it down. Don't you sit and wait, contemplating